Hey everybody, thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to feature 5 Mame / Shohin Portulacaria Jade. And I took a video of these guys in September of last year, but because I didn't start my channel until January of this year, the video that you'll see was posted sometime in early January of this year, although it was actually taken in September. And I trimmed all these trees back. And then I have to admit, I really haven't done much else with them, other than water them, maybe a little trimming, but you'll see they really don't look that much different. And to really get a tree to develop, you really need to be diligent about working it. So I'm going to try to be more diligent on these guys. A lot of these guys need work, but I'm going to wait until spring to do that. So this guy here, it's got a pretty nice movement. It's slanting style. It's way root bound. You can see it just pops right out of the pot. And it's basically grown itself right out of the pot with a very nice mound. It's got very nice moss. And it's got a little bit of confusion. If we turn it this way, we see that it's sort of a clump style. I have often thought of, removing the clump part like this and just making this the tree like that, but then there's no back branch, so I need to wire a back branch or hope for a back branch. So right now I'm just going to pretty much keep it as it is, maybe do just a little tiny bit of trimming. So what this tree really needs is to be repotted and to be root pruned and some extra fertilizer. And sometimes it's almost impossible to keep a tree in the same pot, so this guy could possibly go into a little bit bigger pot, which would of course give me this pot to put something else in. So that's about it for this guy. Number 2 is this upright tree. Has a beautiful base and pretty decent taper, but then up here it gets very sparse, it gets very thin. And I haven't really checked this guy out, but if we mess with it, we can probably find that it's pretty root bound too. Has nice moss. And you want your pads of foliage to be a little denser. So this is one problem with, I took that video and then I really never did anything with them. So this pad has really never really even developed. And we have a back branch that needs to come off a little bit. And this is another one that, and all 5 of these really should have had a little fertilizer through the period of time since the first video. But I have so many trees, sometimes, that's why I decided to start the channel. I said, well, I got a lot of trees. I could show people a lot of stuff, and believe me, I haven't even dented. I've got like 160 videos, I haven't even dented my collection. Even though it may not be perfect. So, I would really love for some more to pop out here and really get fuller and thicker. But right now, this is what I'm dealing with. And one of my philosophies with Bonsai 2 is you're always looking to the future. So if the tree isn't like, you look and say, well, it's okay, but it could be better. And it will be better as long as I continue to take care of it. It needs some fertilizer, probably also needs some repotting, and more diligent cutting back to produce more side shoots that will create a nicer tree. But as far as just the general countenance of the tree, it's got a decent crown, decent taper, decent movement, but it's just kind of sparse. So tree number 3 is a tree that was actually damaged by squirrels. I grew a whole bunch of Portulacaria. I created a bench that attached to my fence, but the squirrels used the fence as a highway, so they came down and they just ate a whole bunch of them. And I was really mad, because some they just destroyed. However, I got to the point where it was like, you know, some of this is not that bad. So if you notice here, this trunk is all concave, and that's damage from the squirrels, but it actually kind of makes a pretty cool trunk. And this guy has actually elongated more than the first two. So we're going to cut it back. You know, when a branch grows to 4 or 5, you cut it back to 1 or 2. Get rid of that. Okay. It's a pretty cool tree, but it's very much like the second one. Really needs to be fuller, have more depth. The pads need to be denser, and the space between the branches needs to be more defined. But it's getting there. And once again, springtime repotting and fertilization, and then more diligence will turn it into an even nicer tree. So number 4 is in a round pot, and it's the one that has this weird crevice in the trunk. And it's, you know, once again, like I said, I never really did much of anything with these. Once I did that last video way back in September of last year. Now here it is August, almost a year. And the frogs are very happy that we've had a lot of rain. Hurricane Debbie came through and we didn't get any wind and damage, but we got quite a bit of rain. And last night it rained. It actually rained in the afternoon and then again at night. And then when I came out this morning, it looked like it had rained just very early in the morning. So the frogs are like, yeah! And once again, this is a pretty nice tree. It could definitely use some more development to become even nicer. So always look into the future. And if you've got trees where you're like, you know, I don't know, you know, have some patience, keep working them. You know, the diligence for me is the biggest part of it. You know, say, oh, a lot of people say bonsai needs so much patience. For me, time goes by, whether you are sitting on the couch watching TV or whether you're working your bonsai. It's the diligence to get off the couch and go work my trees that really makes the difference. So that's number 4. And number 5 is a bigger tree. Quite a bit bigger. Okay, I guess he's in the frame now. And once again, you know, we've got 2 really nice branches, but there's nothing, you know, a pad should have branches coming out like this. You know, like this, and this has none of that. So I'm going to cut all this new growth, and then it'll probably need some wiring. You see how long and leggy all this stuff is? And that's just from not working on the tree often enough, because portulacarias grow like that. If you just let a portulacaria do what it wants, it's nothing like a parrot's beak that grows like a vine or bougainvillea, but you're still going to get a lot of long leggy growth. And I'm trying not to cut branches where there's nothing. I'll do that in the spring. Because portulacarias are, well, they're actually native to South Africa, so they love the warmth. And they kind of go dormant in the winter. And then in the spring, when they sprout with their new growth, that's the best time for me to work them. So that's my goal on these guys, is to see these guys could be wired like this, more 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And the apex is not too bad. A lot of times once you get up into an apex, you can just sort of make a crown where there's no real, like, perfectly pointy apex. And so this is the type of apex this tree has. And there's a lot of wiring that could be done on this tree where it could really be tricked out. We could even wire, this is kind of a stovepipe where it's got no taper. And there's a lot of movement in here, and then it's pretty straight, so we could get some wire and bend that guy like that. Maybe even make this the leader and make this one a branch like that. And I would be doing all of that in the spring. But I've been telling people I'm going to keep updating my trees, and then I realized, I haven't updated these guys in almost a year. So there you go. They're on their way, but I think you can tell I'm not happy. And they're decent enough, but I really should have been taking better care of them. Take him back, because this guy is probably pushing into a Shohin territory where the other four could be considered Mame. I don't really worry about that as far as, what's in a name. And I still enjoy these trees. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please hit the notification bell so you can watch these guys with a video that's not a year since the last one. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.